You know those storage unit auctions where people bid on unpaid units without knowing what's inside? Yeah, I did one of those. I wasn't looking for anything big, just a side hustle, maybe flip some junk for cash. But when Unit 17 rolled up, something about it felt off. The metal door groaned open. It wasn't packed, but everything inside looked frozen in time, like someone vanished mid-move. A cracked armchair, a dusty mannequin, an old TV still wrapped in plastic, and a single wardrobe in the back. Ornate, dark wood, locked. I won the unit for $160. The manager cut the wardrobe's padlock for me. Inside were 5 things: a Polaroid camera, a stack of undeveloped film, a red velvet dress, kid-sized, a porcelain doll with a cracked face, a note, yellowed with age. Do not look into the wardrobe after dark. I laughed at first, thinking it was some weird art project. I loaded everything into my truck and drove home. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the wardrobe. It was in my garage. I hadn't even looked inside after moving it. So, against my better judgment, I went down at 11:47 p.m., close to midnight, but not quite after dark, I reasoned. When I opened the wardrobe again, it was empty. Except, it wasn't. Something about the inside felt wrong. Too deep, like a space that went on further than it should. And then the Polaroid camera, still sitting on my workbench, clicked. No one had touched it. A fresh photo spit out. I picked it up, hands trembling. It was me, standing in front of the wardrobe, looking straight at the camera. But here's the thing. I never took it. I hadn't even entered the frame. I backed away and slammed the wardrobe shut. The next morning, I burned the photo. Later that day, curiosity got the better of me. I decided to develop the other Polaroids from the stack, took them to a local photo shop. When I came back, the clerk wouldn't hand them over at first, said they were disturbing. I insisted. Each photo showed a different person standing in front of the same wardrobe. Men, women, kids, all pale, blank expressions, all taken from the exact same angle. In the last photo, the figure was half turned, as if it had just heard something behind it. That night, I moved the wardrobe out to the curb. At 3:12 a.m., I woke up to the sound of my garage door opening. I checked the security feed. It had been manually lifted from the inside. I grabbed a flashlight and went down, heart hammering. The wardrobe was back inside, upright, pristine. Its door was slightly ajar, and a fresh Polaroid sat in front of it. Me again, this time sleeping in bed, taken from my doorway. I found the couch on Craigslist, under free stuff, curb alert, burgundy velvet, minor scratches, first come, first served, no address, just a pin dropped in a neighborhood I didn't know. The photo showed a vintage-style sofa with clawed feet and wooden trim. Looked expensive, definitely worth a drive. I showed up around 11 p.m., headlights cutting through thick fog. The street was lined with crumbling Victorians and overgrown lawns. I spotted the couch on the sidewalk, just as in the photo, sitting perfectly upright beneath a flickering street lamp. Weird thing? There was no house directly behind it, just an empty lot. Still, I loaded it into my van. Velvet was a little damp, but I told myself it was just dew. That night, I set it against my living room wall. It made the place feel like I'd leveled up. I fell asleep on it, watching TV. At 3:33 a.m., I woke up choking. There was a metallic taste in my mouth, like pennies. I sat up fast and saw something wet on my hand. I turned on the light. Blood, smearing up my forearm. I jumped to my feet. The seat cushion where I'd been lying was dark and dripping. Not red, black, thick and slow, like syrup. It was oozing out from under the fabric and pooling on the hardwood floor. No cuts on me, no wounds. I ripped the cushion off and found nothing. Just the same soaked velvet and wood beneath. No sauce. I tossed a towel over it, Told myself it had to be something old. Maybe mold, maybe dye, maybe a dead rat in the springs. By the next morning, it had dried completely. No stain, no smell. I almost convinced myself. I imagined it. Almost. That night, I stayed awake, watching it, and at 3:33 a.m., it started again. Slow bleeding from the bottom seam. This time, I lifted the couch and shined a flashlight under it. The wood was carved, not manufactured. Intricate. Dozens of tiny faces with their mouths open, like they were screaming. Not decorative. Primitive. Carved by hand. That's when I noticed something else. One of the faces looked like me. Same nose. Same scar on the eyebrow from when I fell off my bike as a kid. I dropped the couch and backed away. I posted it back on Craigslist. No takers. The next night, I moved it outside. By morning, it was back inside the apartment, sitting perfectly upright where it had been, the floor beneath it, scratched, as if it had been dragged across the wood from the street. I burned it that night, lit it right in the backyard with lighter fluid and everything. It screamed. I'm not being dramatic. The fire screamed like a dozen people wailing at once, then silence. It's gone now. But every night at 3:33 a.m., the floor where it used to sit still bleeds, just a little. The Craigslist ad was weirdly specific. Roommate wanted. Female preferred. Must be okay with locking the bedroom door at night. Rent $400, everything included. Immediate move-in. I was broke, still recovering from a bad breakup, so I didn't ask too many questions. The apartment was in an old walk-up, 3 floors. Faint smell of mothballs in the hall. My soon-to-be roommate, Kara, opened the door before I even knocked. She looked exhausted, pale skin, deep eye bags, but she smiled warmly. Room's yours if you want it, she said. Just one thing. Lock the door at night. Every night, no matter what you hear. I laughed. She didn't. I'm serious, she said, voice low. Even if I knock, even if I sound scared, don't open the door until sunrise. I should have walked away, but rent was cheap, and she seemed nice otherwise. I moved in the next day. First night was normal. Kara made tea. We watched trash TV. She went to bed early. I locked my door like she asked, half amused, half curious. Sometime around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway, not pacing, circling, soft and slow. Then came the knock, 3 times. Too soft to be urgent, just deliberate. Open the door, Kara whispered from the other side. Only it didn't sound quite like her. Her voice was strained, flat, mechanical, almost. I didn't move. A minute later, the doorknob jiggled. Then silence. Next morning she was already in the kitchen, acting like nothing happened. I asked if she knocked on my door last night. She didn't look up from her coffee. That wasn't me. The second night, I locked the door again, double-checked it, pushed a chair under the knob, just in case. At 2:33 a.m., it started again. This time, it wasn't knocking. It was scratching, long, slow scrapes across the wood. I held my breath. Then the voice came. I'm cold, it whispered. Still Kara's voice, but warped, like someone had recorded her and played it back too slow. I'm so cold. Please let me in. I sat against the wall, holding a kitchen knife I didn't remember grabbing. The scratching stopped around dawn. When I opened the door, there were grooves, deep ones, scraped into the paint. Not fingernails, claws. I confronted Kara that morning. She just nodded. I told you. That's why rent's low. It mimics me, but it's not me. What is it? I asked. She looked at me, dead serious. Something I let in, once before I knew better. That day, I packed. I told myself I could break my lease, that I'd couch surf if I had to. But that night, I fell asleep before I could leave. At 2:34 a.m., something knocked on the door again, then whispered, "She's gone." I haven't seen Kara since, but every night, without fail, the knocking comes, and every night, it sounds more like me. When Marcus asked me to help sell his house, I thought he meant as a referral, but he handed me the keys and said, "Just show the place. But seriously, don't go upstairs. That's not something you just say and expect people not to wonder." But Marcus was always a little weird. Brilliant, but twitchy. He said it like he was joking, but not really. "I'm serious," he repeated. "They'll be fine as long as you don't go up there." They? Who is they? I should have walked away. I didn't. The house was beautiful. Clean, freshly painted, empty, except for a few neatly staged furniture pieces. Every cabinet door was shut. Every curtain tied back with those weirdly perfect knots like hotel staff do. I texted Marcus to confirm the time for the open house and asked if I should set up anything else. He just replied, "Don't open anything upstairs. And whatever you hear, ignore it." I stared at that text longer than I'd like to admit. But curiosity didn't win just yet. Saturday rolled around, and I unlocked the door at 10 a.m. sharp. People came and went. Most loved the place, until they glanced toward the staircase. Several asked what was up there. "Storage," I said. "Off limits per the seller." Some pressed. One guy tried to sneak up there when I was answering another visitor's questions in the kitchen. I stopped him just as his foot hit the top step. That's when it started. From above us, something thumped. Everyone froze. "Probably settling," I muttered, knowing damn well it wasn't. And then, footsteps, deliberate, heavy, crossing from one side of the ceiling to the other. One woman gasped. A kid clung to his mom. I tried to laugh it off, saying maybe a raccoon got in through the attic. But the moment they left, I locked the front door and stared up the staircase. That's when I noticed it. The faintest smell. Not rot, not mildew, but something sweet and cloying, like flowers sitting too long in stagnant water. And then the knocking started. 3 knocks. Then silence. Coming from behind the upstairs door, I backed into the living room, debating whether to call Marcus or the cops. But before I could, I heard it. A voice. My voice. "Help me," it whispered. "I'm trapped upstairs." My phone buzzed. "Marcus, don't respond. It's not you." Chills crawled across my neck. I stared at the staircase. From the shadows above, a shape leaned over the railing. It looked like me. Same shirt, same face. But the smile was wrong, too wide, too still. It whispered again. "You already opened the door, didn't you?" I hadn't, but when I turned toward the hallway, I saw it. The upstairs door was open. I didn't open it. No one else was in the house. A hand slid around the banister. Thin, pale, trembling with anticipation. I grabbed the keys, bolted for the front door, and didn't look back. Marcus moved out that night. The house is still listed. No one wants it. And the door upstairs, it's always open now. I bought the camera at a garage sale from a man who looked like he hadn't slept in days. It was an old Leica, the kind with that polished silver finish and leather wrap. He only wanted $5 for it. "There's one shot left," he mumbled, not meeting my eyes. "Make it count." I thought he was just being dramatic. People romanticize film photography all the time. I brought it home, set it on my shelf, and mostly forgot about it. Until I got a gig photographing an abandoned train station for an urban exploration blog. I thought, hey, why not bring the Leica along? Could be fun to take a single dramatic black and white shot for the final page. The station was colder than it should have been. Rusted tracks, smashed windows, graffiti everywhere, but it wasn't empty. In the far end of the platform, I saw a man, pale, dressed in a suit that looked decades out of place, just standing there, like he was waiting for a train. that would never come. I raised the Leica. He turned his head, slowly, like he knew. I froze, finger on the shutter. He smiled. I clicked. The camera made a heavy ka-chunk, louder than it should have. Then silence. When I lowered it, the man was gone. I figured he'd ducked into one of the side corridors. Didn't think too much of it until I got home and developed the role. Every shot was normal. Cracked tiles, rusted lockers, debris, except the last one. It wasn't of the station at all. It was me, standing exactly where the man had been, on the far end of the platform. But I swear, I never crossed the tracks. I never stood there. I checked the timestamps. That last shot had been taken 10 minutes after I left. Things got stranger after that. Every mirror in my house started showing something off. Not wrong exactly, just delayed, like my reflection took a second longer to match my movements. Once I blinked, my reflection didn't. Then the dream started. Always the same place. A train station, empty at first, until I looked behind me. The man would be there, not smiling anymore, waiting. One night, I dreamed he was in my hallway. I woke up to a click. The Leica. It was on my nightstand, and now it was empty. I didn't sleep again after that. The next day, I visited the man's house, the one who sold me the camera. But it wasn't a house anymore, just a burnt foundation. A neighbor said it burned down months ago. No survivors, but someone left a box on the porch. Inside, a dozen photos, all of the same camera, same man, same empty expression. Different owners, different eras, always one shot left. I smashed the camera that night, took a hammer to it. But later, when I went to toss the pieces in the trash, there it was, back on the shelf, clean, loaded, one shot left, and ready to snap my soul away. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.